hours after an explosion at a Gaza hospital killed hundreds, including children. Prime Minister Modi spoke with the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, condoling the loss of lives at the Al-Ahli hospital. He also reiterated India's long-standing position on the Palestinian cause and shared India's deep concern at the terrorism, violence and deteriorating security situation in the region.
We have reiterated our position in favor of direct negotiations for establishing a two-state solution. We have also expressed our concern at the civilian casualties and the humanitarian situation. We would urge the strict observance of international humanitarian law.
The statement is a reminder of the tightrope India has walked since 1992, when New Delhi established full diplomatic ties with Israel while continuing to support the Palestinian cause. India has maintained equidistant ties with both Israel and Palestine, and the Prime Minister was the first to go to both nations on independent state visits to Israel and then Palestine. Bibi and the Prime Minister share a special rapport that was on display back in 2017 when he visited Israel. Now, what complicates matters for India are the close ties it shares with the Arab world as well. While India has shared increasingly close bilateral relations, trade, technological assistance, military procurement and counter-terrorism cooperations with Israel, it also remains committed to the stance that this is not an era of war. India has been forthcoming in providing humanitarian aid to Afghanistan, even after the Taliban took over. And since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war, India has sent humanitarian aid to Ukraine. And in a show of neutrality, India has abstained from successive votes in the UN Security Council, the General Assembly and the Human Rights Council that condemned Russian aggression. India has consistently urged respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of states and called for the immediate cessation of violence and hostilities. It has reiterated that dialogue is the only answer to settling differences and disputes. In fact, the Prime Minister spoke to both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian Prime Minister Volodymyr Zelensky, as well as several other leaders, to de-escalate the situation. The announcement of the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor at the G20 summit in New Delhi was the net result of India's growing global trust factor. The divide between Israel and the Arab world is starker now than ever before, with Iranian, Saudi and Jordanian leadership slamming Israel's bombardment in Palestine. Another big question is, what happens to the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor that's meant to challenge China's Belt and Road Initiative? Will India be able to leverage its ties with Arab nations to de-escalate the situation and bring the project back on track? These are the big questions. Parmeshwar Bawa for NDTV.